Low. What's up, folks? What's up, people? Um, I'm here to answer questions again. And before I read those questions, post whatever you want, right? Uh, Here's the announcement. I'm opening up Magic Mentor again. Ta-da! Okay, Magic Mentor. Look, I closed it down because I didn't want to bother with some bullshit anymore. Okay, now ever since then, I don't know how many messages, but I got a lot of messages begging me, please, please, please open it up again, blah, blah, blah. So here I go, I'm gonna open it up again. You can find Magic Mentor as a program on my site again, okay? I know a lot of people wanted to sign up. You can do it now. Okay, there's also a new program in the making. See, first of all, a lot of lessons have to be filled up on Magic Mentor, okay, to bring you up to speed. And then there's going to be a new program where I do live rituals for you guys. Okay, I do live rituals with you. Okay, it's going to be a program that is going to be done on Zoom. We're going to meet on a specific day, and you can request in advance a certain type of ritual. Okay, now that ritual is not going to be done for you. Okay, so don't think that you can request a love spell and I'm going to do the love spell for you on that program. No, but you can request me casting a love spell, and you can do it with me. Okay, for whatever purpose you want to use it. Okay, and this is how you're going to actually learn how to put all the things together. You see, every ritual is different. Every ritual is individual. Okay, and this is a program that a lot of people need. I don't think it's ever been done. It's quite unique. Okay, but that's what I am. I always do the things that have never been done, and I'm very unique. That's for sure. Okay, so let's see questions, bro. Where are the fucking questions? Okay, okay, guys. You need to, if you want me to answer questions, if you have any, you need to type them into the chat. Okay, then let me ask a question. So for this program, um, where you're going to learn how to cast spells, how much would you be willing to pay? Why do I not see the? Oh, there you go. Now I see the questions. All right, glad to hear. I can certainly use some mentoring. Offerings to Lucifuge. I read he's not big on any liquid. Offerings for the spirit is always that's individual. I heard never that he doesn't like liquid. You know, well, do a divination to figure out what he would want from you as an offering. Okay, because the offering is also individual. It's not the same for everybody. See, we have to understand what an offering is, and an offering is a sacrifice. Okay. Now, a sacrifice is not necessarily a substance. It could also be anything that requires sacrifice from you. Okay. Do you have a bad habit that you can exchange? Okay. Let's say you're a smoker, you want to quit smoking, or let's say you're a smoker, you don't want to quit smoking, and still you sacrifice that bad habit to the spirit. That could actually serve as a great offering, because there's a lot of energy in that habit. that you're not doing anymore and you're sacrificing it to the spirit. See, start thinking like that. Does devoting time count? Time spent meditating, invoking? I don't think so. No, it's not enough. See, devoting time count, time spent meditating. No, I don't think so. I mean, you're mainly doing that to get in contact with him, right? So I don't know if that could be seen as a payment or exchange of energy to the spirit. You're invoking him in order to contact him so that he can do something for you. All right. Now let's imagine some person calling you up, you know, calling you up, and then they want something from you, right? And then yeah, you ask them, okay, what can you do for me, or how do you want to exchange? They tell you, man, I called you, I put all this effort into finding out your number and all that, so I'm not going to pay you anything because I already put in some work, right? Do you know how much time it cost me to get in contact with you? You see what I mean? So where I'm going is that doesn't make sense. Okay. So I wouldn't say that not devoting time counts as an offering at all. Jeez. But once again, I have a question for you guys because I haven't decided on the price for that program yet, where I'm casting spells for people or with people. How much would you be willing to pay for that? How can I maximize the effect of my sigils? What, in your opinion, is the most powerful way to charge them? Okay, well, how can I maximize the effect of my sigils? Uh, there are many factors that go into that. Okay? But generally speaking, try to formulate the intent as clear as possible. Okay. Then work on things that are in the realm of possibility. What do I say? What do I mean by that? Charging a sigil when you are, um, let's say, I don't know, a very, in a situation that is very, very far from where it is that you want to be, and you believe that one sigil is going to get you there, is not going to work. What It should be in the realm of possibility, in your sphere of influence, so to speak. Okay. Now the good thing is that you can quickly increase and expand your sphere of influence. Okay, step by step by step. But you should already have what you want in your sphere of influence. It should be what you want should be one or two people away. Does that make sense? And besides that, put a lot of energy into it. A lot of energy. Okay. So that's gonna have an effect. For the rituals shown in your program that use demonic sigils, could angelic sigils be used instead in the same manner? Uh, yeah, yeah, I guess so. How long of session would you say that each chakra should be focused? and meditated on until you feel something. It's different for everybody, you know? Until you feel something, until you feel something changing. And when I say feel something, it could be, uh, um, you know, some sort of a shift in your perception of self and the universe. That's really what you're going for. Okay. Um, Price, that's a hard question. I mean, if it was 500, you would get people that really want it. If it's 550, you may get people just curious to see what it is, not as serious. Yeah, that's true. So that means I'm gonna have to put it at 5,000, right? That's fine. Yeah. Okay. 700 enough. Okay, we'll see. Well, that's a monthly rate. Would you pay 700 every month? I think most people can't do that. Just can't. It's not that they wouldn't want to, but I think most people can't. You know, that's yeah. How does a how does a person remove magical blinds that prevents them from working magic and using magical abilities? What? How does a person remove magical binds that prevent them from working magic and using magical abilities? You need a you need some sort of a practice that connects you to your higher self uh, every day. Okay, so a meditation practice that you do on a daily basis that connects you to the state of mind where you are connected to everything um, is gonna is gonna help you know is gonna help keep you in touch with that energy and with the ability to cast spells. I'm supposed to be in a meeting right now. Okay. Hey Frank, do other people's opinions will matter when trying to do your will? Sometimes when doing your purpose, you will have to manipulate a few people in order to get the job done. Any thoughts about this? Do other people's opinions and will matter when trying to do your will? I think generally speaking, yes. I mean, see, it's less about other people. It's more about how well can you control yourself. That's really what it boils down to. And I believe that's what all of life is about, really. Can you get yourself to do the things that you want to do? Can you um, maintain a certain intention over longer periods of time? That's really the key to most of what you want. So, other people are not really the problem. It's more a lack of control over ourselves, I think, you know, and we're all working on that. Monthly 100 is reasonable, 150 tops, I think. Okay, MMA is 100 a month. This is the same principle. It's a discipline for spirit. Okay. All right, whatever. Okay. Um, how should a beginner best use the tarot as a tool for personal development? Okay. The tarot as a tool for personal development. I think that, well, when you're really going for that, you have to study the Kabbalah. Okay. and then connect the different spheres and the paths to the different cards. Okay. And then you actually have a map. Without the Kabbalah, the tarot is not really useful in terms of self development. It's a divination tool. But if you really want to do something like personal development, which is meaning, which means basically exploring your own consciousness and developing your awareness and whatnot, you need a connection to the Kabbalah. So find some sort of a connection or resource or whatever, and connect the two. Okay, the tarot is based on the Kabbalah, and then just work through the tree of life and use the cards for that. You know, see, a path working is something where you invoke and connect yourself to certain energies, and as these energies are awakening within you, you then must see their effect in your life in some way or another. Okay, the universe responds to you, to your frequency, to your thought waves, to your emotions. Okay, so when you invoke a specific energy over a certain amount of time, you will see it reflected in the outside world in your life circumstances. Okay, now this is where discipline comes into play because you have to do it over long periods of time. Okay, and specifically in the modern world, it's extremely hard to stay focused on something for a long period of time because you have constant influx from the outside world, right? But that's where discipline becomes necessary. And then you will understand through these outside experiences how this energy works within you and in your life. Okay, and then you can begin to use it for rituals, which gives you which requires you to develop control over this type of energy. And when you can use it, when you can use a specific energy to create changes in the outside world, you have mastered that energy, therefore it becomes part of you, it's integrated again, you see, and then you can move on to the next energy that is part of that system or path working. Okay, so um, good resources for that, I would recommend you buy or you get some book from the earlier 20th century. Okay, there's some good resources on that stuff, Dion Fortune and whatnot. I guess that's why offerings are useful in order to keep the current moving. Uh, yeah, it's part of it. I just found your channel and Instagram and just wanted to say thank you for sharing your knowledge. You're welcome. Okay, do we have some more questions, guys? Do we have some more questions? Does ancestor worship have a place in your personal spiritual practice and magical practice? Are you asking me or is that a general question? Uh, does ancestor worship have a place in your personal spiritual and magical practice? In mine, absolutely. Yeah, of course. Well, I don't like the word worship. It's more like, see, just like I'd say a practice like a Santeria. Okay, it's very much based on ancestor worship, which I do. Or Palo is necromancy. Okay, so it's definitely connected to ancestors, but It's more like veneration. It's not really worship. It's just understanding that you are the result of a certain energetic process. There are people before you, there are people after you, and it's a lineage, and you are part of a greater whole. See, what I see that people suffer from in the world, and everybody sees it. I mean, there are so many mental health issues out there. People are just miserable. People are just depressed. It's bad, right? So where is that coming from? It's they have lost a connection to spirit. What does that mean, having a connection to spirit? It's just you experience yourself as part of the universe. You see, when you walk through the streets, you will find people uh, that are mean. A lot of times, they're depressed. Um, they're down. They're frustrated. They're this and that and this and that. Okay. Of course, you will find many nice people too, many friendly people, many open people, and all that, right? But I'd say at least half of the people or more are just not feeling good. They're what's the word? They're constantly in a state of tension and I don't know, frustration. Now, why is that? Because they are taking on the entire universe. Does that make sense? If you as a being experience yourself as separate from the universe, that means that you must fight the entire universe. Does that make sense? When you see yourself as a closed off entity that is trying to make its way in life, which is the perception of most people, you will have to take on the entire universe. Now that's a fucking bad ratio, don't you think? Like one person and the entire universe. So most people are fighting the world constantly, and they're so tense. So of course they become miserable because they can't control what's going on outside of them. Okay, no matter what they do, no matter what they try, there's always something that messes with their peace of mind. You see, the only way out of that is to begin to expand your awareness and consciousness where you perceive yourself as part of everything. Okay. And ironically, this is when you will have the power to change what's around you. You see, this is the state of consciousness where you could call it samadhi, or this is the state of consciousness where magic becomes possible, where you perceive yourself as part of this massive energy field that we're all part of. Okay. And then you can influence it through your intention. But when you see yourself as closed off, you're fighting. You're fighting against something, against the world, against this and that, against people. But see, everything is interconnected, and you need to get to the perception of interconnectedness in order to practice magic. You see? So, coming back to your question, when you do authentic spirituality, okay, and you're not just some teen witch or some goth kid that thinks it's cool to talk about demons, okay, when you're actually authentically practice magic and witchcraft, it means that you understand that the forces that we work with, the gods, the angels, the demons, the spirits, they're all part of the spiritual machine that we are also part of. Okay, so in a sense, giving offerings to, let's say, Elegua, yesterday was Monday, right? You giving an offering to Elegua is you give offering to a deeper part of the self, but the expanded self. Please stop identifying with your body. You're not your physical body. You're just inhabiting the physical body for, in my case, for 35 years, and I'm aiming of becoming a much older, you know, you know. So the point is, N- Understand that you are part of a spiritual machine, a spiritual. There's nothing else but spiritual stuff, which is really like one energetic being. Most people's perception, people with their senses trapped in 3D and whatnot, they perceive everything as separate, and therefore they are fighting the universe, which they are part of, and that's why they're suffering. Okay, and true spirituality is liberating in a sense where it's no longer about the ego. It's no longer about you. It's about coming into harmony with the forces that make up this cosmos. You see, there's no feeling like it, and this is what everybody's yearning for deep down. You see what I mean? Is everybody? That's what everybody's looking for. You see, this is what everybody's looking for. So yeah. Thoughts on clefothic sphere initiation, jumping straight to Sataria without prior sphere initiation. Well, you're not going to benefit from that. Yeah. Did you read my text, The Inner Alchemy of Sataria? Uh, just read the text again, okay? That should give you the answer. Just read it again. Oh no, you didn't? Okay. Well, and I wouldn't do it. Not because it's dangerous or whatever. No, you're just not going to get anything out of it. Is it okay to call Reiki to just meditate with the energy, or should you have a more definite purpose towards which directed? No, you can definitely just meditate on the energy. That works. Have you used Tibetan sound bowls, and do they help with clearing out energy blocks? They do. After practicing magic for so long, what advice would you give yourself when you first started practicing? Yeah. Uh, okay, here's what I would tell myself. Let's say I'm 14, 13 years old again, and I'm starting to practice this stuff. I would tell myself, listen, young friend, everything is a process. Everything's a process. Okay. What do I mean by that? Life is a process. Any process has different sub processes connected to it. Okay. What would be a good example? Let's take a business as an example. Okay. A business is a process. And the process is you want to put an energy in the front, and you want to get more than what you put in out of, at the end you should get more out of the process than you put in the beginning. Does that make sense? So let's say you put this much money into marketing, and you want more than what you put in there as the result. Okay, that's the profit. So that's the process of a business, let's say. Okay, now this process of business has sub processes. One of them is the process of marketing. Another one is the process of production. Another one is the process of finances, because you got to make sure that more money comes in than leaves the business, right? Now, all of those sub processes have different steps inside of them. Okay, and when you take, let's say, the process of marketing away and you analyze it, and you can improve it. Okay. And then you put them back into the machine works a little bit better. And then you take the the process of production, you analyze it, you look at the different steps, and you improve that again. And then you put it back into the whole system, and it works even better, and so on and so forth. Okay, so Anything in life works like that. Okay? So this is, by the way, you should definitely write this stuff down that I'm giving you right now because I'm teaching you how to hack life. Okay? So everything in life is a process and has sub processes to it. And when you can identify the sub processes, you can work on them individually and improve them, and that will improve the entire process. Okay, so let's say your life, what does it consist of? What are the sub processes of your life? You have a physical body that you need to keep healthy, right? So that's health. You have spirituality, okay, magic. That's a process in itself, okay, that has sub processes. You have whatever your resources, whatever. Then you have your love life, right? Those are all sub processes, and then you can analyze them all individually. Okay, let's say health. Those are three things that you need to look at. You need to have a good diet, you need to exercise, and you need to rest. Those three things. Okay, and then you look deeper into those three things and figure out how you can create a routine for that. Okay, so you have 7 days in a week, a good workout regimen. Let's say you work out 4 to 5 days a week. Okay, you should have strength and endurance. So you decide Monday I do this type of exercise first thing in the day, okay? And then for the rest of the day I eat healthy food, which means greens, blah blah blah, and you just stick to that. It's just a routine that you do. You don't have to overthink it anymore, and it will make sure that the sub process of your health works good. And then you look at the other things and do the same thing. Okay, so that would be your life. Then look, everything in life, including magic, is a process. The process of magic has three sub processes. Okay, one is going into an altered state because you need to go into a trance in order to be able to move the energies. Okay, that's sub process one. Sub process two is you need to be able to invoke and direct energies. Okay, even when you do an evocation, you project energies. When you do an astral travel, you project your own energy. Okay. When you do a spell, you project your own energy towards the target. Okay. And number three, oh, sorry. Number two was invoking energies, bringing energies into yourself. And number three was directing energies. Okay. So those three sub processes you can work on individually. And when you improve one of those, the whole system will get better. The whole process, the let's say, um, major process will get better. All right. So that's what I would tell my 14-year-old self. And with this mindset, you can basically figure out anything. I think most people overcomplicate things most of the time. They overwhelm themselves and they forget the structure. Because life is simple, man. Life is really simple. Almost everything. If there's something that you can't figure out, it's because you're making it too complicated. Okay. Now that's a general statement that, of course, I mean, uh, what do they say? Exceptions prove the rule or something like that. Whatever. You get what I'm saying, right? But for the most part, most things can be analyzed in that, okay? In that way. So take this mindset. Everything's a process, including magic. Identify the sub processes within that process and create a routine and a step by step format where you can follow, yeah, follow certain steps and work on those steps continuously and make that part of your routine. And that's how you're going to get better at the entire process. That's it. See, magic, look, we live in fucking 2020. Who says that magic was better in the past? It was not. Okay. We're supposed to evolve. We're supposed to get better than the people that came before us. So we're supposed to create a better form of magic, actually. Okay, which I have not announced it yet, which will I'm probably going to do that by the end of this year. I've actually created a new form of magic, a new and advanced form of it. Okay, what I just gave you is the and what I teach in general is how magic should be taught in the 21st century, in the third millennium. Okay, so um, it's magic 2.0, 3.0 that you're getting, 4.0. It's the understanding from a very high perspective, where you can cut through all of it very, very quickly. You can understand any system, any any methodology, any you can control any spirit with that type of magic. Okay, it's time that things change. It's, I mean, the old things, or what happened in the past was cool, yeah, but look, we need to improve, we need to evolve. Okay, and there's too much old stuff out there. Free in 40 minutes if you're still on. Or is that for me or somebody else? Okay. Claudia, okay. See, your comment is being held back because you could put sex in there, and it really, it goes against community standards or something. Will you talk about manifesting through orgasm, sex magic, if you will? Yeah, well, it's not complicated. When you orgasm, you put out a lot of energy, and you can, when you're in the moment of orgasm, focus on a specific goal, you send the energy towards that goal. It's not it's not rocket science. So I don't know what I would say about that. Make yourself come, or help somebody make you come, and then send that energy towards what you imagine. Frank, what do you think about the book Shadow Nomicon? Don't know that book. Does every ritual include invoking a spirit? And what is the importance of the pentacle in the ritual? How does it work? No, you don't have to invoke a spirit in every ritual, but you have to invoke with some sort of an energetic quality. That's for sure, and that's where the pentacles come into play, because they connect you to a specific energy. Okay. Hey Frank, thank you for the reading last Sunday. You are the best. Oh, thanks. Yeah. What if we stop paying for Magic Mentor in the first month? Will we still receive lessons if we pay the money of Magic Mentor for 2 months in the later month? I had some glitches, but usually you shouldn't receive lessons then anymore. Frank, we would like for you to come to Seattle for a presentation. I mean, that's an option, but it has to be. You got to make it worth it for me. So if that makes sense, okay. Now I know that sounds a little bit cocky, but you know, I'm not gonna go there if there are like four people waiting for me. See, I mean, sometimes I do presentations with, you know, like on conventions and you know, uh, but usually that's in California. I've never done any presentations outside of California. So Seattle, I would definitely be willing to go. Why not? But you gotta, it has to be a certain size, you know. What was the first spirit you ever made a pact with? Well, that very spirit I have to keep a secret. I was doing a protection ritual and I started hearing a name very loudly. What does that mean? Couldn't mean anything. Look at the context. Okay. If it's just a name out of nowhere that has no context, you might as well ignore it, you know. Do you have any courses that focus on meditation? Yes, I have a meditation program, The Unbounded Mind. The Unbounded Mind. I look, The Unbounded Mind has been running for 3 years, and I've kept it intentionally small, very small. But is there anyone here that is on The Unbounded Mind? Anyone listening out of those 48, 49 people that is on The Unbounded Mind? Please rate the program on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being very good, or 10 being the best. And what that means is, has it helped you? Have you learned things in there? Can I deliver on my claims? And is it authentic? Okay. Now okay, 11 out of 10. Nice. Thank you. 10 out of 10. Thanks. Can't be measured. Invaluable. There you go. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So those are people on the program. It's uh I don't know. And it's, man, look, the price that I charge for that is so low, man. It's basically for free, but it's not about money. It's about sharing stuff soul to soul. You see what I mean? And sounds a little bit gay, but you get what I'm saying. It's like spiritual, like things like that have to be shared because it's kind of like um it's part of my purpose and whatnot. Okay, so um that's why I keep it intentionally small, because if one person in that group has the wrong energy, or has energy that is not compatible with what we're doing there, it's going to mess up the whole dynamic. You see what I mean? So um, that's why there are very few people on there. People can apply, but for the unbounded mind, I will do uh, onboarding calls, which means if I don't think you should be part of the program, you can't get in. You see, it's all energy. You see, and each person that is on the program, we're doing group meditations. You see, so our minds connect and whatnot. So it has to be a person that fits the program. Does someone have to be a Santero to make that Monday offering to Eligua? No. Can you be initiated into Palo and also work with demons? Yes. You can work with any spirit and be a Palero. Just not in front of your pots. Okay. When you're in front of your pots, you don't call up a demon. You call up your muerto. Can you practice on your Reiki on yourself without an initiation until you find a teacher? No. You have to be initiated into Reiki to use that. Will new lessons from Magic Mentor be coming out? Yes, they're already being uploaded. You should have received new lessons yesterday and more are coming. You will get you will get one lesson for each day that you're subscribed. 100%. Okay? I just started reading The Sacred Woman, and it talks a lot about the health of a woman's womb plays a huge part in her manifestation. What is your take on that, if any? Well, I don't know, but I can imagine um, that it might have an effect, just like a man's fertility is part of that too. It's just another form of creation. But I mean, this is speculation. I'm not really saying it's accurate. Quite honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I've never worked with a woman like that knowingly. So I can't really talk about it. Okay. What is the price of your Magic Mentor? It's $40 a month. Your opinion on restless spirits, how to work with them. Well, I wouldn't work with restless spirits because they're not. I mean, why would you? I wouldn't. If you want to, well, just call them up like any other spirit. They can be evoked. But a restless spirit is. I mean, they're not just restless; they're also very confused. So I would find it hard to control them, or not control them, but make use of them. You see. Okay. Mixing different items, alter or worn items from different currents. Can an energy or deity that doesn't agree or get along with something from another current cause issues? Energy cause issues. Well, it's uh okay. Well, it's like, how should I put it? Look, certain energies need to have a specific space and not be or not interfere with others. Okay, just like when you like, I hope your bathroom where you go pee is in a different room than where you eat, than your kitchen. Okay, it would be really weird if you can you imagine somebody taking a piss in their kitchen sink and then go back to eat, right? I mean, you don't do these things. You do that in different places, right? So if I have, let's say, certain destructive energies in one space, and I come in there and try to do healing work in the same space, it's not going to work very well, you see? But it's not necessarily because the entities are at war with each other or they're not agreeing with your manifestation. It's just because your energetic blueprint is unclean, you know. That's gonna mess up the results. So yeah, that's really it. You don't shit where you eat. That's what they say, right? So yeah, keep that in mind. All right. Um, where am I? What if someone was already there in Magic Mentor before and then he unsubscribed and now she wants to subscribe again? Will the lessons be provided from where he stopped from the beginning? From the beginning. How to cloak yourself on the astral realm or stopping certain people from finding you, like friends or random people. You just intend to be invisible. That's really it. When you give an offering to a spirit, is it better to keep the paper you wrote the spirit's name or get rid of it and write a new one for the next offering? No difference. You can do both. Can you show us some techniques on performing a banishing ritual in the next video? Well, I don't know. How can I verify that the other person is consciously aware of a telepathic conversation? Well, you'd have to ask them, I guess. If you want to know that they're aware, they're consciously aware of your telepathic communication, well, ask them. Yeah. Is your order still available for new subscription? Well, yeah, but I mean, like I said, we have to do an onboarding call because similar to the unbounded mind, I don't want the wrong people in the order. Don't want to deal with that. So, yeah, you can seek me out or you can message me on Facebook, and then we gotta go through an onboarding call, and you know, and we'll see if you're a good fit. Why spirits refuse manifestation from operator if task is in their nature? Rob Jackson. Rob Jackson. Let's see. That name reminds me of somebody. Rob Jackson. That name reminds me. Rob Jackson. Hope that's not you, bro. Hope that is not you. Okay, whatever. Okay, here's what's going on, Rob. I don't think the spirit is refusing to give you what you want. It's that you're not doing the right steps. I guess that would be my first guess. So, your favorite hobby in your spare time? Fletal answers Rob Jackson's question. For growth, some spirits want you to do things themselves so you grow in your power. God, that's not true. That is not true. Please don't buy that bullshit. That's not true. My favorite hobby in my spare time. I don't have hobbies. I just have activities. So, look, I think that my life is not work and play. That's not how my life works. And I think if your life works like that, you're doing something wrong because that just means you do work that you don't like. That's really what it means, right? So I don't have hobbies. I have activities, things that I want to explore. Okay. So when I do martial arts, I want that. I want that because it helps me. It gives me something, I don't work to make money. Does that make sense? I don't do something just to make money off of it. I do it because it gives me something, something other or something more than just currency. So I don't have hobbies, so to speak. See, I don't think like people, like most people do. I guess you can see that. To me, this is weird. How most people live their lives is just off. It's really off. You see, and see the funny thing is that if you live your life in the way that I just described, you're gonna get very good at it, and it's gonna throw off a lot of value. Okay, look, And as it throws off value, other people will want to exchange for that value. That's really it, you see? So live your life in a way where everything that you do because it gives you a sense of feeling alive, a sense of growing, you know? And then you exchange your insights, you exchange what you have gained, you know? Um, does that make sense? I think, see, look, it's all a game of consciousness. That's really what it's about. Don't think about hobbies, don't think about making money, don't think about any of that stuff. It's all a game for your consciousness to grow. That's the game. So when you do something to grow in your own awareness of life and consciousness, you will be rewarded for it, you see? And you will be even more rewarded if you share your insights with other people then so they grow internally. Okay? It will come back 10 times. You will be rewarded for it 10 times. You know, there's a saying that if you want something, you got to help somebody else get it, and that's the only way to get it, which is kind of true. Okay. You dedicate yourself to something, you explore it, you live through that, you live your life in that process, go back to the beginning. And then you share your insights about that process. Okay. And others gonna be reward you for that. But it's not them, it's the universe that makes them want to exchange in return. You see? I see a lot of people that are just doing all the same thing. Everybody's just doing the same fucking thing, right? Oh, I'm gonna be a personal trainer now. But there's no passion behind it, man. There's no passion behind it. What is the like? How should I put it, man? It's um. Look, if I would be a personal trainer, I would do it like this. See, you got to give it a certain. You gotta feed the body, but you gotta also feed the soul. Okay. So, what is your unique way of teaching people how to take care of their body? Give it a philosophical idea. The human animal is not just an animal, it's also a potential god. So you got to feed the god within man as well. Okay. You got to feed both sides, the higher and the lower parts. And when you do that, that's when you got something very unique. And that's when people are going to really, really love what you do. Okay. But just downloading information from the internet and telling people, okay, you need this amount of carbs, you need this amount of protein, and you need to fucking move your ass, do some fucking squats and sleep for 7 hours. I mean, anybody can do that shit. Anybody can do that. See? So find your connection to the universe, man. Find your connection to life force, to the energy that runs through this universe. There is no scarcity at all. Doesn't exist. Does not exist. I guarantee it to you. It's a lie that you bought into. So what you must do is find your connection to this energy and then live growing, and then share what you grow, what you learned on your journey, because that will help other people grow, and that's what you're going to be rewarded for. You see, that's the only way to actually be rewarded, and that's the only way to let's say get real currency. Let's call it that. That's actually the only way to do it. You have to help others in some way or another. You see, and I know most people will be like, but my insights are not unique. I don't have anything to share like that, and it's like it's nothing special. Like I'm just doing this and doing that. Yeah, this is where the fuck it starts. You see, this is where it starts. So who told you that you are just another number? Who told you that? Why do you fucking believe that? Shame on you. Shame on you. Why do you believe that you're just another number, another person, generic no one? Who told you that? Why did you buy into that? Why aren't your insights valuable? Why isn't what you learned from the universe important? Why isn't it important? Because you bought a lie, okay? And that's why you're being controlled. That's why it's so easy to fucking control humanity. Because you let yourself be controlled, okay? You're a sheep. You are a sheep for the most part. I'm sure a lot of you guys are not, okay? But we have a couple people on here on this call that are sheep. You have bought into the lie that your insights are not important, or that your inspirations are not important, or that your sense of truth is not important. And so you live your life like that. You don't share it, you don't value it, you don't put it out there. And so what you believe will become your reality. You understand? So if you believe that you're nothing special, you're not nothing special. But if you believe that your insights actually mean something, and when they come from an authentic place, and it's not just that they have to have meaning for you, they have to have meaning for somebody else. You see, once again, you have to give before you receive. When your insights have value to other people, that's the test. You see, when they have value to other people, you're on the right track. You see, we're all one thing. We're all one consciousness, which is experiencing through different vessels. Okay, so I'm teaching myself in a way right now. You see, in order to get something, I have to give first. Does that make sense? So I go through my life. I go through these experiences. I don't have hobbies. I have activities. Okay, I don't have work. I have activities. I don't think like that. You see, so never mind. Supposedly, a strict coven witches in Mexico can physically fly. Many have witnessed, and no one doubts their abilities to do so. What would be your guess on how would they achieve this, even if even possible? It is possible. Um, they have to be in a very deep trance to do that. That's for sure. But they're not the only ones. I mean, a lot of shamans do that. A lot of yogis do that. After doing a ritual, I will frequently feel very unbalanced and anxious for the rest of the day. I've tried grounding and banishing, but any kind of energy work I do just seems to make it worse. Okay. No. I mean, there are too many different options that could play a role here, you know? What if we paid money for a Magic Mentor to lesson 100, then unsubscribed? Will we still have access to those lessons through extra account of Magic Mentor, or all the lessons will be gone? Um, no, I don't think you will have access to those lessons. When you're unsubscribed, if your account has been deleted, then you don't have access to these lessons anymore. Do you find Palo Mayombe African traditional religions to be more potent than Western magic and other systems? No, it's always the magician, you know. It's always the magician, or the user of the system. Okay, it's the user of the system. It's not the system itself. It is very powerful, but I wouldn't say there's anything especially powerful when it comes to African traditional religions. You know, this fucking uh, academic term. No, not really. The difference is that you have a lot of practitioners in African traditional religions that are better at what they do. That's why you have a reputation for these practices being really powerful. But I mean, ceremonial magic can accomplish pretty much everything some of those African traditional religions can. But the problem is that in ceremonial magic, you have a lot of I don't know there's a tendency of staying in your head, if that makes sense. Okay, how many magicians out there are they do theory? You know, they're armchair occultists. Very they're very theoretical. You see, but theory is not going to give you the results, and it's not going to give you the experience that you need. Okay, so and what happened in the 20th century was that psychology and specifically Freud and his theory became the explanation for everything in magic. You know, so, you know, when we look at Crawley and others during that era, they tried to explain everything in magic in a psychological sense. Okay, so the problem with Western magicians often is that they're kind of like handicapped in terms of belief, if that makes sense. Okay, and that's what you will not find in African traditional religions for the most part. There is a They don't need the explanation of why it works. They just know that it works, and so it works. Okay, it's what you believe you can do, you will be able to do. You see what I mean? But if you went through, let's say, a traditional Western education, um, you know, maybe even academic and whatnot, you will have a hard time getting rid of the censor. You know, it's kind of like a handicap when it comes to magic. You see, it can be very much. I've seen, I've personally seen a lot of things in African traditional religions and in their rituals uh, that probably very few ceremonial magicians or Western magicians can pull off. But it's not because the system is weaker or whatnot. It's because the practitioners are weak. Okay, they're a lot of them. They you know, specifically when they get older and whatnot, they're like these theoretical professors and whatnot. You know, they just sit there and lecture. You know, lecture on the stuff, but they can't get their hands dirty. They can't get actual results. It's all just blah 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 blah. You know, and for real results, you need to live the path, which is what they don't do. Okay, so I made a video on that. I made a video on that a long time ago, where I said that your intellectual explanations of things are, you know, they don't give you the results. You know, like I was talking about some voodoo priest somewhere in the fucking jungle that is more powerful than any of those Kabbalists, you know, that will wipe the floor with them. And he's never heard of the fucking Kabbalah. Okay. And the point that I was making is that a lot of people just focus way too much on the theory. The theory is good. Okay. And believe me, I'm a fucking library, or not a library. I'm an encyclopedia, a walking, talking encyclopedia when it comes to the history of magic, theory about it, different traditions, all of it. Okay, I got it all down. But I understand that that is not necessary because enough of that out there. What is actually necessary is getting people to actually do the practice and getting the results. You see, so cutting through all the bullshit and see when it comes to witchcraft, overthinking and overanalyzing things can be a handicap. Can definitely be a handicap because human logic, human rational and linear thinking is just one way of understanding the world, and that's actually very limited. It's great if you want to build a skyscraper. It's great if you want to calculate something, but it is very, very limited when it comes to understanding the universe and the other dimensions. Okay. For instance, I mean, when you look at the philosophy behind, you know, African traditional religions, there's everything is seen in terms of principles. Everything in life, everything, any emanation in the universe is a manifestation of a principle. You see, and time is really just circular. It's not linear. So you have different phases, and different phases repeat each other. And based on that, events are interpreted. It's not necessarily just forward into the future, which is often much more accurate. You see what I mean? So the point that I'm making is that no, I don't think that African traditional religions are more powerful. I think that the practitioners of the systems are different oftentimes. Okay. And in the West, you often have practitioners that handicap themselves. They cut themselves off from their own power because they're so stuck in their 3D box. Okay. Now, of course, that's all a generalization here that I'm making, but it is true. It is true. Um, which, I mean, come on, there's so many examples of why that is, and but let's keep it at this. Can you cast love spells on multiple targets and get results? Yes. How do you fill energy balls with intention? And after how do we send it out? Energy balls with intention. Yeah, energy ball. No, I'm not gonna go into that. What kind of opinion do you have of somebody learning through your programs and somebody or somebody getting a privilege to work with you in person, or which one is better? Well, what do you think is better, watching porn or actually having sex? Huh? So, but that's gonna be hard to get to that point. Huh? Yeah, so things you love and have to passion for, and that benefits you, like exercise and provide value to people. Makes sense. Okay. My Extra account says that I don't access what? My account says that I don't have access to any courses of yours, but I've paid the money to lesson 100. But as I stopped paying, all the lessons were gone immediately. Well, then your account was deleted. You had access to lesson 100. Yeah, you had paid to lesson 100, but you you deleted your account, and as you stop paying, okay. Well, yeah, you stop paying, and that's when when your account was deleted. Can I exchange with a person who received the PDF since the spirit said that you can only share with 7 people? What? Can I exchange with a person who received the PDF since the spirit said that you can only share with 7 people? What kind of a PDF are you talking about? Gabriel, I see a pattern in the way you ask questions. Okay, and I mean that well. I'm well-meaning, okay, but you oftentimes I think have a problem putting yourself into the position of the person that you're asking the question to. Okay, try to assume that the other person has no clue about what you're talking about. Okay, and mm, then formulate your question. Okay, just that's just a tip. Hey, Frank, what's up, brother? One question about Magic Mentor. Are you going to add more videos to Magic Mentor every month for us? Yes, of course. I've already started to fill. You will get a lesson for every single day that you're subscribed. Okay. So I'm filling them up already. You should have received a couple new yesterday, and we're going to fill them up very quick. Is OBA a good path to learn? It's up to you. That was beautiful, Frank. That made me cry, and I'll make sure my sister watches your videos. It will help her make her happier. Uh, okay. Well, yeah. 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 I should get a TV show, just like Oprah or Elle or something like that. Yeah, I need a fucking TV show where I sit there and people come in and I give them therapy. You know what I mean? They're like, oh man, I've been drinking and I have this problem, that problem, and I just clear them up just like this. Give them the truth. They start crying, and I get a billion because I'm so sensitive. I really really put myself into the shoes of everybody else. No, I mean in reality that would never happen because in reality that would never happen because I swear too much, and sometimes I come across as a little bit of an asshole. Get that, but that's fine. I have the best metaphors. I would binge watch your TV show. Yeah. Miss Tracy Jolie, what? I have another joke for you. Okay, what is it? Yeah, your joke last time was awesome. Yeah, what is it? Are some spiritual beings you would not work with during any ritual? Uh, what did Mars say to Saturn? Hold on, hold on. What did Mars say to Saturn? What? What did he say? Give me a ring sometime. That was good. Yeah. Um, can you recommend a demon for love that is not from the Goetia? Well, yeah, there are many. I mean, Free Most, you can get Satanaria, you can get um there are a lot. But more than anything, I would learn a little bit of game. Learn game, okay? Because you don't want to just keep doing spell after spell after spell. Let's say what happens if you get that chick? Let's say you do a ritual and you end up sleeping with her and she only slept with you because of the spell. Which, yeah, I mean that works, but You would do much better learning a game to keep her, Game is pickup. Learn a little bit that female psychology and all that stuff, you know. How do you keep her how do you keep her attracted to you? By the way, it's even if you're in a relationship, you gotta keep gaming her. You can't uh expect her to just be in the relationship because look, a woman will leave you if she sees better options around. She's gone. Okay. And that's just a given. It's not a moral statement. I'm not shaming anyone here, but it's a fact. It's look, this sexual marketplace is such a competitive area, man. It's so competitive. It's very hard. It's very what's the word? There's a lot of competition, and um, and there's very little education on that topic, right? Now, I'm not an expert on that, but I learn and I work on it. If you want to learn from an expert on that topic, go to Arash Divazar, very good friend of mine. Um, yeah, but generally speaking, I think guys have way too little education on that stuff, especially in this day and age where the cards are basically all the power is basically with the female. You know, especially in this day and age, we need much more education on that topic. Which still very few men know about, man. I would say 80% of all guys have zero understanding of this stuff. They have no game. They think women actually work like guys. Just crazy. But never mind. Yes, but a lot of people walk around with low self-esteem and don't believe they're special. I think watching your videos will do the advice can make someone feel understand and better about life. Look, I don't think people are special. I think their experience is special. Okay. In the grand scheme of things, none of us is important. Like in the really, really big scheme of things, none of us is important. But our unique experience is important. You know, I would what I would give and pay to read authentic life experiences from somebody uh, in ancient Egypt or a farmer in the Middle Ages. I would actually pay good money just to read about their daily life and what it was like back then. You see? At least that's me. I don't know if that interests everybody, but that person, that farmer from the 14th century, certainly didn't think they were special. Okay, probably had a life expectancy of maybe 40 or younger. Okay, and their life was really tough and really hard. So no, I don't think most people are special at all, but they become special by how much they serve others, you see. I don't believe that people have value just by themselves, just because they're breathing, because that's what 7 billion other people do. Or is it 8 billion now? I don't know. A lot of fucking people breathe. A lot of people want to eat. A lot of people want to sleep, right? Everybody. The only value that you have, now, of course, there's some sort of an intrinsic value as a human being. Yeah, of course, yeah. But in terms of nature, let's get get rid of all, let's say, this what's the word? Let's look at things clearly and without emotions, okay? From the perspective of the biosphere, let's say planet Earth, are you really more important than a dog? Is a human being really that much more important? I would say right now, a honeybee is probably more valuable than a person to the planet. Okay, because honeybees actually help the environment, but they're about to go extinct, right? So I would say if I was nature right now, if I let's say if I was Mother Nature right now, I would probably prefer, I would put more value on a honeybee than on a human being, right? Right? It makes sense. But now, of course, I'm a human being, therefore I believe that humans have more value and more intrinsic value. Is that objective? No, it's not. But that's not the point. Your true value or real value can only be attained when you help others. Okay? That's also the definition of self-esteem. You can only truly have self-esteem if you serve people around you. And this is what fucks a lot of people up. Because a lot of people out there, you can see it on Instagram, you can see it on other social media outlets where people are just um, trying to grab their value from the outside world through validation from the outside world. They put their naked asses out there, like get 50 fucking likes. That's what a lot of you ladies do, obviously, right? A nice picture, half naked, and you get 50 likes, and for some reason it doesn't. It's a never ending. It's a hole that can't be filled. You see what I mean? Yeah, you're looking for validation, but 50 likes, 100 likes, 200 likes, 300 fucking thousands of likes are not going to do it because you don't feel like you're actually contributing. You see? And the same with guys standing in front of their fucking cars or whatever. You think that's people seeing that is actually gonna do something for you? No. Okay? You can't pull that feeling of satisfaction towards you. The feeling of actually being like valuable, worthy, a sense of self that is good. You can only get that by helping others. You see? So you can't pull it, you have to help others improve their situation in some way or another. And that's what's going to give you that feeling of fulfillment, of feeling good about yourself. That's authentic self-esteem. It's not attention from people. It's not this guy thinks you're the man or this bitch wants you and all that. That's just irrelevant bullshit. Who gives a shit? Okay. Besides that, anything that you focus on in terms of external stuff, okay? Ladies, you're gonna age, okay? You're gonna get older soon, very soon, and age is not kind to you ladies. Understand that. So you better develop other qualities, or you're up for a rude awakening. Okay. Same with us guys. We have to build up other qualities. A lot of guys define themselves by how buff they are. And when they hit 30, their testosterone starts going down, so they, get on fucking steroids and do other things, or go into debt to buy a fucking car or something like that. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But why is that? Why do people do that? So that other people think they're the man. Yeah, right. But that's still not going to fill the hole. Okay, what they need, what everybody needs, is the feeling that they're actually helping other people. Okay, the feeling that they're actually helping other people. See, a testimonial of a client that is genuine and says, "Thank you, you've helped me so much with this and that and this and that," is much better than uh, getting a new car. Look, if I really wanted, I could get a new car every 2, 3 months, no problem. But it doesn't do anything for me. What's that gonna do? I'm really amazed by these simple-minded people that are like, oh, that get off on their fucking car. What is that? Doesn't satisfy me at all. Okay, but gotta continue here. Hi, Frank. Have you heard of transurfing? And if so, what is your opinion on it? It's a good concept. It's based on quantum physics. I like it. Yeah, a lot of wisdom in there. Hate to say it, but you can't let yourself be too available with a woman. It comes off as weakness over time. Just be a sugar daddy and buy a girlfriend. Yeah. Well, a lot of these gold diggers are very attractive, right? Usually a gold diggers are very, very attractive. Yeah. And you know what they say? Women are judged by looks and men are judged by money. So we're objectified for our resources and women are objectified for their bodies. So maybe that's kind of like the perfect match, right? The old rich guy and the young hot sugar baby, right? It seems to work for some people, right? I don't know. Howdy. What's up, Lydian? Thanks. Hi, Frank. Have you heard of Transurfing? Yeah, yeah. Okay, finally free. Thank you for staying busy. I'm currently struggling with the next step on my path. I've been told I need to be as the light bringer to be the light of the world. Any advice? Oh, keep shining. Okay, where's your Mr. Suit version of Frank White? He's in the closet. Would you like to work together to create a linking sigil to harness energy from any locations? I can create them through Australia, but I'm worried about being redirected to serve another. I don't know. What about serving in vain? Serving because you think you have to serve. Well, then it's not coming from the right place. See it as a look. Always observe animals and children. Observe animals and children. Why? Because they're most connected to the universe. Okay, they don't have a lot of the brainwashing they haven't gone through. So even if you observe a dog and you do something, whatever, and the dog kind of like interferes with what you're doing, it's because the dog will wants to contribute something to the activity, right? He wants to do it like out of it's just energy. It's just expressing energy. When you give a kid, go for a walk with a child, a very young child, they're gonna grab flowers or they're gonna paint pictures and they're gonna bring it to you. Okay, it's an ugly ass picture. Let's be honest, it's really ugly because it's been drawn by a 3 year old, right? But it's a contribution. It's what they want to give you. They want to express energy and contribute it to you. And that's how you should see things. If you don't want to do something, don't do it. I don't do things I don't want to do, you see. And you can ask any, like, trust me, like many people have tried to get me to do things in my life that I didn't want to do, and no one succeeded ever. Okay, when I was too young to fight back, that's true. When I was too young to fight back, I had to do things obviously that I didn't want to do, right? But ever since I've been able to resist, I have been resisting, and whenever I want it, when energy tells me I should do something, I do it. Okay, I just do it, and now of course I'm not stupid. It's not like energy tells me to fuck this guy up and I fuck him up. No, it's when I want to exchange something or if I want to give something, I do it. Okay, because that's what the energy is telling me to do. You see, and this is how you don't go through your logic. If you want, look, I mean, if I let's say help out a homeless guy, I don't do that because I expect him to pay me back later. I do that because I feel I want to do it. I feel like it's right. And this is really what you have to do. Okay. So if it doesn't feel right, just don't do it. That should answer your question. For real, how is it that you found the peace preached by Christ through magic? Do you believe you've crossed the abyss? Well, first of all, Jesus was a yogi, okay? If he was a real person, he was not a Christian, okay? Christ is not Christ was not a Christian. That's number one. Number two, all spiritual teachings, all spiritual teachings teach the same thing. Any spiritual path must lead to the same conclusions, you see. Otherwise, it's not a spiritual path. I saw a guy laying on the hood of his car making out with it on TV. Thank you for this contribution, Miss Tracy. I bet it's fun to hang out with you. Frank, you should have an OnlyFans account. You'd make a killing. What is an OnlyFans account? What is an OnlyFans account? I don't even know what that is. Okay, guys. I'm gonna wrap it up now. What? Hold on. What are your thoughts on ecosexuality? What is that? Ecosexual. Let me Google that. Ecosexuality. Ecosexuality. That sounds interesting. Wow. Ecosexuals believe having sex with the earth could save it. What? Listen. What is ecosex? A person that finds nature romantic, sensual, and sexy. A new sexual identity. A person who imagines the earth as their lover. A term used in dating that describes a person interested in environmentalism. Wow. A new field of research exploring the places sexology and ecology intersect. I'm really I'm confused by a lot of the I'm not confused, but it seems to me that a lot of people are really confused about sexuality these days, I guess. Um in a lot of ways. So I really don't have an opinion about that. If I see a tree, I don't have sexual fantasies, to be honest. Yeah. So no. Okay, well, I'll leave it at that. Be well.